And I went to that. I got a role as a clown in their pantomime.
What a great first role. Brilliant. Hello and welcome to One at the Door, a House of Damnation podcast. Are they a big bloke or just a bearded lady? Who knows? Who cares? All I can tell you is that they're a sweet treat. It's King Victor Sponge. So, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on here. So, can you tell us about the moment King Victor Sponge was born?
I don't really think there was an exact moment. I think it happened quite slowly over time. King Victor Sponge, I thought, was a really fun name, and I had it in the back of my head as, if I did drag, I think this would be a really fun name to use.
Yeah.
I love to bake. I do novelty cakes.
Amazing.
Also, Victoria Sponge was already taken, which was incredibly rude. So
I'll let her know that you said that.
So then it slowly started to occur to me that the performances that I was already doing and being a part of already was drag, and I just wasn't seeing it like that because of the fact that I had in my head that the only style of drag that counted was if you fit into the binary king or queen.
Yeah.
And when I actually sat down and thought about it, I was like, well, that's complete rubbish.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Vocal Mix 4, I think it was.
Yeah, with Transparent Presence, CIC.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. When I was asked to perform by Hugo Wilde.
Yes.
And I decided that that performance would be my drag debut, and I would actually class that as a drag act and try and develop it from there.
Before you got into drag anyway, you're involved in like theatre. Has that influenced the way that you have approached drag?
Yes, absolutely. I think that it's influenced almost every part of my drag persona and the things that I like and try and use. Growing up, I was very against anything that was classed as feminine.
Yeah. And
I can really see where that came from. I think it definitely came from the expectations of certain parts of my family who, some of whom are Indian and some of whom are not.
Okay.
And the quite rigid gender ideals of what they wanted from me.
Yeah. So
I never really got into dresses or makeup or anything until I started doing theatre.
Wow.
So I started doing theatre. I always loved it in school, and I would get involved with the odd production after that. But I kind of forgot about how much of a passion I had for it.
Yeah.
When in school I had to I was told I had to make the decision. You're both an arts and a sciences kid. You have to make a decision in order to have a career between the two.
Yeah.
And I chose the sciences, and I went forward with that. And then it was actually after a rather messy breakup that I was like, I need something for me that gets me out the house.
Amazing.
And I went to see a performance of, what's it called? How Do the Baskervilles?
Okay, yeah.
And I was speaking to someone afterwards who turned out to be the director of the show. I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, fab.
And he was like, our drama group are holding an audition tomorrow for their pantomime. Come along.
Yep. Because
I said about how much I'd been missing acting and performing.
Yeah.
And I went to that. I got a role as a clown in their pantomime.
What a great first role. Brilliant.
It was a lot of fun. And my sort of life in the theatre sort of started back up from there. It's very much a case of you have to learn on the spot how to do a lot of things. Yeah. And that was when I started learning how to do makeup. So the makeup style that I was learning was about not being washed out by stage lights, and about the style and the shape of your face that could be seen from anywhere in the theatre. That really informed how I learnt to do makeup. Maybe if I was to learn how to do it properly, or if people were to see me actually putting on makeup, they'd be like, that's wrong, you don't do it like that. that's just the way I learnt it.
Yeah.
Since I started calling the performances that I do as myself as drag performances,
Yeah.
I do feel like I've slowly found the style that I then go to.
I think drag can be like a bit of a conduit, really, to finding more stuff out about yourself. It just allows you to kind of break through that gender barrier, if you like, and explore new things, some things that you never would have considered had you have not done it.
I was already so comfortable with exploring my gender before drag even was in the picture.
Yeah.
And because I never needed drag to be the reason why I was exploring my gender identity or gender expression.
Yeah. So an Instagram post I saw on House of Spellbound mentioned that you struggle to find roles that you fit into. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience?
Yeah, so when I was writing about that, it was very much about theatre roles.
Yeah.
I always thought that improvisation and performing as myself was something that I didn't really enjoy. I much preferred having this is the script, and I'm going to spend several months with this script, with this character, and I'm going to build up who they are and put them onto the stage.
Yeah.
And it's been a very different experience than reacting as me on the stage and as Victor. Where that comes from is in my experiences in a number of Amdram companies, often you work with lots and lots of different directors or different directing teams for each production.
Right.
And it can change up pretty much for every show. I found that there were some directors that I've worked with who were very much a case of you audition for whoever you want. You audition for the role that feels right to you, that you feel like you can do the best at.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if we then have a discussion about changing that character's gender in order to fit where and how you see them on the stage.
Right, I see.
And I've also worked with directors who said, you were born a woman, and therefore you are going to only be allowed to audition for female roles unless that is a role that I could see being a female role. And so if I was to go for a male character in the script, the only time when I could audition for that was if he made the decision, or that director made the decision, to change that male character to a female character.
Wow.
So I very much found that with a lot of the scripts, if I was in that position where I had to choose a female character, I really struggled, especially with slightly older scripts. Amdram groups are, or can be, very, I'm going to go with limited. I think that's the word I want.
Yeah.
Can be very limited in terms of the type of plays that they can put on.
Right.
Their decisions are often very much based in what they think will sell, especially because there tend to be more amateur dramatic groups than audiences who will go and see an amateur production.
I see.
At the moment.
Okay.
So that is just the reality of theatre at this time. And so they will often try and go for, say, a big name or a popular play in order to try and sell the tickets. And looking at the characters in these plays, often written by men, it was a case of very few female characters, or female characters that I felt no pull towards, or I thought I would struggle playing that character, even though it was put on
the stage.
Either I don't have the right aesthetic for that character, and that does matter when you're in theatre.
Yeah, of course.
Either that, or it was a case of the very stereotypical femininity of that character was something that I just don't fit.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sell convincingly.
Right.
So I think that though I still very much enjoy performing on stage in a theatrical role, I think that it's been incredibly freeing creating a character for myself where I could move the gender markers around however I wanted to in a very fluid
nice.
way and really represent myself in that way.
Yeah. So if you were to meet someone completely new,
Mm-hmm.
how would you describe your drag aesthetic to that person?
So my aesthetic is very much based in the fantasy realm. I do think that's why Aria Spellbound did swipe me up as one of her drag house.
Yes.
Sort of ostentatious fantasy, just over the top and playing with gender, I think is the main sort of descriptors I would use. And I think that I could see myself trying out different styles in the future.
Yep.
I don't feel wedded down to the style I've got right now.
Yep.
But I would say that in terms of the drag wardrobe that I've made so far, that is where that kind of fits.
I mean, that is literally a feather in your cap, because I don't know of any other... Maybe Roxy has made a few of her own stuff, but I don't think there's many queens, kings, or monarchs any other have made their own stuff. Dandelion, actually. Miss Dandelion is the seamstress, so I think she has made some. But yeah, you're one of the very, very few. So yes, feather in your crown.
Thank you very much.
Your audiences, do they ever struggle to understand what you're trying to do through your drag?
I think that's a really interesting question. I would imagine that there are some people who do struggle to understand it. But also I think that I am so obviously out of the gender binary that I think it would be pretty hard to miss.
Yeah,
I think
agree.
that both just living in my day-to-day life, but also being on the stage where I go for almost quite a femme aesthetic, but I keep my beard, which grew myself. Like I lean into some of the more masculine parts of me. I don't try and change my voice, for example. Someone would have to be quite oblivious. And I think that, again, with me being very early on in my journey, I've performed to more sort of smaller, intimate audiences at the moment. And I think a lot of those audiences, and I don't think this is a bad thing, is made up of family, chosen family, friends who I think already know what I'm out there trying to do.
Yeah, uplift you and kind of just get it.
They get it.
Rather than having to explain it each time. Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas there's absolutely going to be people, I think, that it just goes right over their heads. And that is fine. I think that drag is both a political statement and being there to entertain.
Are there any other drag artists that inspire you?
Absolutely. I think that a lot of drag artists who also have been very involved in activism and causes that they really care about are incredibly inspiring to me. I think the most recent example would be Patagonia.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. I think what she does is really incredible. I think she's also another drag performer who her aesthetic is incredibly feminine, but she keeps certain aspects of she keeps the mustache, and she keeps aspects of her masculinity in there as well. Yeah, fighting for good causes, and I really respect that. I think also some of the drag artists that really paved the way for us as performers. I think that Lily Savage, I think, is a real inspiration to me. I think both as I've
forgotten his name.
I have, yeah.
Paul
O'Grady. Yeah, I was thinking that Grady was the first name. I was like, no, it's not. Both as Paul O'Grady and as Lily Savage, I think, is incredible, and she was so quick-witted, and
it's incredible.
Also, I think that learning a lot more about her history as well. Speaking, for example, Polari. Do you know about Polari?
Yeah, it's the underground language, essentially, isn't it? Yeah.
So the secret gay language. So she was one of the users of that and was using it for its sort of invented purpose. And something I like. I'm never going to get to ask. I was never going to get to ask her in the first place.
No.
But I'm never going to know now whether or not the Lily part of her name had anything to do with Polari. Any words for the police were, I am going to make a point, by the way. I'm going around
it's fine. I'm loving this.
So in Polari, the words about the police were all about feminizing to make fun of the police. I think that there is going to be an element of misogyny from the time period that it was used.
Yeah.
But two of the phrases used for policemen was Lily Law and Betty Bracelets.
Oh, okay.
So Betty Bracelets referring to handcuffs and referring to them as bracelets to sort of diminish the power of that.
Yeah.
And Lily Law being a reference to when someone is called Lily Livered, they're being referred to as a coward, and sort of like really diminishing the power of the police brutality that was happening. And I've always wanted to know
whether that was
whether or not Lily Savage had anything to do with Lily Law and the background in Polari.
So what advice would you give to someone who doesn't see themselves represented in mainstream drag, but still wants to perform?
I think that there's almost two parts to this question.
Right.
I think that if drag is something that you want to do, just start.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect the first time that you put on makeup or decide what you're going to perform.
Yep.
You can perform a song and be like, that didn't work for me. And that's okay. You can, like everyone has to start somewhere. And I really do think that if everyone just waited until they were perfect at something, they would never start. And also, even when someone thinks, yep, this is what I'm really happy with, a couple of months, a couple of years down the line even, I do think that there's then the opportunity to look back and think, that's not as perfect as I thought it was at the time, but also I respect that version of me as a performer. And the other part of that question, I think, is about sort of seeing yourself represented. So I think that there's several ways that you can look at this in terms of, and it's the same thing that I do when I read books, for example.
Yeah.
When I'm an avid reader. I read at least 100 books a year, if not 200.
Wow.
I read so much.
Well, I've managed to finish one this year at least.
Well done.
Which was...
Any reading is good reading.
What is it? Straight Expectations by Callum McSwiggan.
I've got that on my list
It's
to
a
read.
really cute book. It's really, really cute. So I'm very happy I finished it.
Yeah, I'll have to get to it sooner. But yes, I read so much. And what I've noticed in the time since I really started reading a lot was first starting out and trying to find content that reflected my lived experience was so hard. I remember what I was doing was I was listing all of them on my reading app on my radar shelf, and I could almost like keep up with it in real time.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I really can't. And I think that publishing has gotten so much more diverse and realised that people want to be able to see themselves in media.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's such an important... representation is such an important thing. And I do feel like the drag world now still feels a bit like how the book world felt that couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Where you do have to put in the work to then find performers that are going to represent a more diverse range of drag. I think that there's a reason why things in the mainstream are mainstream. You just have more people who are doing that style of performing.
Yeah.
And there are going to be less people doing less mainstream stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But also, and this is something that I know that we've discussed, but about bookability and drag is both a performance and a form of entertainment.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier about with Amdram companies, at the end of the day, yes, everyone is there because they have a love of acting, a love of performing. But at the end of the day, it's a business that has to make money to keep going.
Yeah, of course.
And so they are going to be limited in that way by the sorts of plays that they choose or performances that they put on in order to appeal to the highest number of people. Right now, when you're trying to sell a drag show, I can see why some people go for the more mainstream styles of drag to be able to sell it more.
Do you think that there's more that could be done to support drag monarchs in Cornwall?
I absolutely think so. Kind of like what I was talking about before with the general public and making the effort to look beyond what is pushed to you by social media algorithms, etc.
Yeah.
And seeking out local talent and supporting that. And that can be through social media likes, go to see the performance, engage with their brand and their content, and engage with companies and groups that are putting on that content.
Mm-hmm. So what's your favourite number to perform and why?
That's a difficult one. I think also because of the fact that I don't have a cemented set list that I feel like is my drag set.
Yeah.
So this answer may change in the future. It might change tonight when I think back on our conversation. But I think that Delilah by Tom Jones.
Ooh, good one.
I love that song. It has a lot of very special memories to me, singing it along with my mum. Mm-hmm. And so growing up, I really grew up with my parents' music. I didn't really grow up with the musical style that was popular for my age group.
Yeah.
My mum and my dad, they're not the best singers. My dad is pretty terrible. He will fully admit that.
Gonna watch this.
Yeah. I'm absolutely sending it to them. But yeah, Dad, you're terrible. But when they enjoy a song, they love singing along. And good. I think enjoying a song so much that you don't care what you sound like and singing along anyway, I think is a really special moment. Yeah, I agree. And Delilah by Tom Jones is one of those songs for my mum, both in terms of she loves it so much that she's like, I'm going to sing along. Yeah. But also the fact that she knows most of the words. Yeah, and Dad will potentially join in as well. It depends on his mood, but sometimes. But we love singing that one together.
So do you feel like drag has a responsibility to challenge societal norms, or do you think it can simply exist to entertain?
I really love this question.
Yeah?
I really do. Because...
At least I did something right.
Because I really think you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
I think that maybe some people see drag as just... or people who are drag artists who may see themselves as just entertainers. Mm-hmm. But I personally think that you can't separate drag from its history. You can't separate drag from the gender binaries that it's trying to break down.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it is just an impossibility for the art form.
What do you hope audiences take away after watching one of your performances?
That gender is something to be played with. I think that's the main takeaway.
Yeah.
Because in my, I was about to say real life, my slightly more boring half of my life when I am not this fabulous monarch you see before you, I am a PhD researcher. I have a background in biology. I don't have a background in sex and gender. However, being autistic and being interested, it's something that I've done a lot of research in.
Yeah.
And I very much like to pass on that information to people at protests, just to give people the language to challenge the norms that they get told as if it's fact.
The reality is we know nothing.
Absolutely. The reality is, like, people like to quote basic biology and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, basic biology is gender diverse. Biology doesn't like binaries.
Yeah.
We as human like to put labels on things, but there is no way you can label every single incident on a continuous spectrum. That is just never going to happen. So when a cell splits, I'm sorry if I'm getting boring, when a cell splits, all of your chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell, and then there's like a little fishing line that goes from the pole and attaches itself to the chromosome, and then reels it in So half the chromosomes go into one cell and half the chromosomes go into another. If your chromosomes don't reach that in time, you end up with 2 in one cell and none in another. And if that happens with your X and Y chromosomes, you can end up with a baby with 4 X's,
Oh, right.
3 X's and a Y, an X and nothing else.
Yeah.
And there are so many variations in that. So even when people say it's XX or it's XY,
It's
not
not
the case. And
I love how these people talk as if they've got a degree in
I know.
science as well. Like,
it was the same over COVID. I was like, calm down, love. You really don't know the biology of this.
Generally.
Like, for example, the fact that I don't shave my beard in order to do drag. So I was born a woman. I have what's called PCOS. So that's polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that is where, to describe it the most simple way, my body cannot tell the difference between estrogen and testosterone.
Okay.
And so at any given moment makes a random amount of both because it can't tell the difference.
Right.
Growing up, it meant that I developed sort of a mixture of stereotypically male traits and a bunch of stereotypically female traits.
The best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Literally.
Kind of in both my real life and in my drag performance, I like celebrating the masculine and the feminine combination that is me.
Yeah.
And I think that the difference between the two is that when I am in drag and up on a stage, I am making the statement, this is something to be celebrated.
Yeah.
This is not something to be ashamed of. This is a normal part of being a human being.
Yeah.
And I love being able to share that.
So what's coming up for King Victor Sponge next?
So the very next thing, by the time that this episode airs, will be Red Ruth Pride, which will be tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
So please do come and see me perform there. It will be my first time doing a live lip sync performance.
Exciting.
So, very exciting. You also might see a little peek of Hugo Wilde. I might have roped him into my song. A exciting project that I've been working on with Black Box Theatre Company, where we are putting together a radio play series. What we're doing is each of the people within the group have a chance to write episodes, edit episodes, perform, and like we're creating this from scratch. It's a very collaborative thing. And I am acting in it. I've written several of the episodes. I am also the showrunner for the show. So that won't be out for a while, but it is called A Long Way From Here. Also, please do follow me on my socials on Instagram. They're going to be up there somewhere.
Somewhere up there.
Somewhere above us. And also, please do follow House of Spellbound, my wonderful drag house, and these wonderful people as well. Please do give them a follow. That's all going to be
Well, I hope
up
that if
there.
you're watching this video, you're already following us, but, you know, you never know.
Just pop a follow. It helps our egos.
You've been watching One at the Door, a House of Damnation podcast. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think of the podcast and what you want to see more of. See you soon.